Okay, we're live.
Welcome to Session 8 of our Sea Dogs GURPS campaign. I am Gigerman, today's GM. Such as I am. Okay, we have any bookkeeping to take care of?
Looks like that's been.
I believe I spent 2 points. Yeah, I spent 2 points at the conclusion of last session for fearlessness level 1. And we had also determined after the fact that I did not need to purchase the Rule of 15 perk because those of us who are British who have the stiff upper lip basically already have the Rule of 15 perk.
Right.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah. Anybody else?
Should we be recording the stiff upper lip perk?
Well, you don't need to. I'm gonna give you credit for it if you're doing it right anyway.
Well, I did just cause.
I know some of you did.
Is this a free perk?
Effectively, yeah. It is a campaign perk.
For us limey.
For
Poor
the Limers.
Davino.
I'll just have to make it up in other ways.
What are Italians famous for?
Coronavirus.
Hey, it's me, Mario.
Alright. Let me think. Is there anything else I need to take care of first? I don't think so. Do that first this time. Okay. Sea log. Saturday, January 20th, 1725. Off the coast of Barbados. It's very warm with moderate northeasterly breezes. Having cleared port at Barbados in a hurry, the expedition is making its way north in convoy with the Princess Mary, followed by the Rumjack. Alright, and you watch Bridgetown, Barbados shrink away as you follow behind the Princess Mary at a leisurely pace. You can make out the Rumjack in the distance, hastily setting sail, you presume to give chase. Both ships in the convoy fly the signal flag atop the mainmast, indicating they have the Rumjack in sight, and will continue to do so until that changes. The crew is tense but confident, anticipating the potential fight to come. So, you guys still have no actual idea what the Rumjack is here for.
We have suspicions.
Could be
You have
coincidence.
plenty of suspicions, and they might be correct.
They're looking for Randall because he pissed them off with that letter.
Oh, I'm sure.
Jerk.
Now, under normal circumstances, the trip you are taking to St. Kitts would take just short of 2 days for you guys. But at a slower pace, you're expecting it's going to take a little over 2, probably.
And where was the planned ambush site? How far away was that?
I will get to that, but that's going to be about a day out.
Never mind.
So, as you guys are getting moving... Oh, damn it. As the GM catches up to the things he's got to do.
Ooh, cool picture.
Does anyone want to speak to the crew and encourage them? Or you figure they got it handled?
How is the crew morale?
Well, like I said, there are tense, but everybody seems okay.
Except Red, I think it is. Damn, man, it's been like
Well,
just a couple days, and I completely forgot all the characters.
do we need to break that out?
Break that out.
Probably should break that out. I should have.
'Cause I was
I
in the
should have
process
seen
of
that
looking
coming.
for it anyway. No, I don't have to.
Where is that? I can't remember what I named that. It's in the other. I got too many images folders.
Should learn to organize better,
Well, you know.
Mr. OCD.
Okay, it's not in that folder either. Where did I freaking put that? No, it's right there. Duh.
Crew of the Graceful Dame. It's like the third thing.
Yeah. So, well, Red is bitching, of course, but that's pretty normal. He's fairly certain he's going to die.
No, I don't
so,
think that's going to be the case.
A couple of reminders. Randall had the incident last session where Spencer kept referring to Claude by the female pronoun.
Right.
And also last session, Davino overheard Spencer talking in his sleep about being in a loony bin.
Somebody's secrets came out.
And neither one of you have done anything with that information as yet.
I am standing by to lie my ass off about both of them.
Now, as you guys are setting out, and Spencer goes to record the event in his journal, he looks back over the events of the previous day, and man, that sounds really weird with this whole Spider Woman thing. You really don't remember that.
What?
There was a woman in a cave, and it was weird, but you don't remember any spider stuff.
It's probably just a dream. It's a weird dream, but a dream nonetheless.
There may have been drugs involved or something.
I can neither confirm nor deny any drugs being involved. So is it just Spencer who doesn't remember it?
Well, as a matter of fact, nobody remembers anything out of the ordinary.
But I got bit.
But unlike everybody else, Spencer has a record of it.
Damn those spiders and their mind control stuff.
I suppose Payne might have written that down.
I don't know, actually. Is he a writery type?
I don't have writing, per se.
Well, he has a journal, and he keeps notes on things, but that wasn't necessarily related to his quest, so he might not have.
Well, how about?
And he might want to forget about it, too.
Nope, I didn't. I'll let the dice decide that. Was I smart enough to record it? Nope, I'm still.
Alright, so a bit about some mechanics.
Ruh-roh.
We are going to be doing this as this will be a chase. So, as a chase, I am, well, it is. It's based on the chase mechanics. I'm not actually using that graphic right now, though, because it doesn't really matter. So, I am breaking it up into the watches, and bearing in mind that since you guys are not a naval vessel, you're not necessarily using naval watch system, but I'm sure the guys that are former Navy are probably thinking about it in that way. Having said that, that means that there are 6 watches in the day, and basically everybody is split into 2, and one watch is on, the other watch is off, and they swap. And then the 5th watch, I think, is the dog watch, where it's a half watch for each side, so it swaps out everybody's watches during the day instead of being
Called
an
that
even number.
because it's a curtailed watch.
Indeed. The watches are 4 hours, and that is going to be the chase increment, is 4-hour period, so we'll be making a chase roll for each one. The marks on the map there on that line are representative of the amount of distance you'll be expected to cover during a watch. Okay, let me see, what else do you need to know? We are not going to bother with the normal day's business and that sort of thing, because in this case, A, we're more concerned about the chase itself, and B, you are following the Princess Mary, and you don't really need to navigate. And you're holding back your speed to keep the rumjack from falling behind. So, as discussed, the plan was to, because the rumjack is slower at this point of sale, then you were planning to hold back so that the rumjack could keep up,
Correct.
and keeping it at as far a distance as you can be comfortable keeping it. So consider that extreme range.
Okay.
So basically, if they decided to turn around, they could end the chase immediately. Not that you expect them to do that.
You would be kind of anti-climactic.
Indeed.
But amusing nonetheless.
And I am also presuming that basically you're always going to be taking a maneuver, as are they, until you guys get close enough that something else could occur. So we won't bother choosing until it actually matters.
So you're saying we can't do a stunt?
You could conceivably do a stunt, but at this point, the objective isn't to actually get away from them, so it doesn't matter. But that will potentially come up later if you guys decide to do some trickery. That may be a tactical stunt, for example.
I sort of envisioned, for some stupid reason, the ship suspended in midair. Everything frozen. It's like, what are those Duke boys got into now?
Probably not that kind of stunt.
Oh.
I don't know. We
This
find a
isn't
big
Just
enough
Cause.
big enough wave, and a strong enough wind. We'll fly off the top of the crest of a wave, sideways.
So the point about the watches, the reason that is relevant here is that whoever's on the helm is going to be the one making the chase roll for that watch. And we'll have to decide who's on the helm and also who's on lookout and that sort of thing. And I don't care how we do that. We could do it randomly, or we can do it actually figure out who's on what, but as long as we have something sorted out so we don't have to guess every time. I kind of lean toward using the party sheet for that, but we are going to need the NPCs on there. I guess there's another question of whether or not Dora is going to be considered part of the watch.
Well, she can't speak.
But she can signal now.
I'm curious, is it possible to change the party sheet, X-Men?
Yes, I think. Indeed. I don't know if that... Well, yeah, I think we've had to use it that way before.
You should lock token scale.
I might have done that already.
It appears you have.
Alright. Who wants to be on what? Or who wants to be on watch with whom?
I'll do whatever.
Split it down the middle.
Are there any penalties to appropriate sailing rolls for sailing at night?
Obviously that's going to affect the lookout rolls, but control rolls are not. I wonder if they should be, now that you mention it, but since I hadn't planned for that, no.
How are we designating our watch?
If there's 2 watches, then I think Rogers should be on an opposite watch to Hayden.
Okay.
Probably reasonable.
I'll be on watch with Bold because he'll probably keep me in line best.
Alright. Wherever he ends up. Guess we can just flip a coin on everybody if nobody has any better ideas.
Red will be on Hayden's watch. Hayden wants to keep you under wraps.
Alright, that's one. Anybody else?
Of the senior sailors, Bold and Mogridge are the most experienced, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so they should be on opposite watches.
Technically, Furlong is the same skill level as them. He's just getting paid less. But, yeah, okay, so you can just leave them where they are. Let's
Who has
see.
keen sight?
I don't think you've identified anyone as being particularly keen of sight, excepting Article. The noobs are Henry and Ollie, so... Actually, no, that's not right. It's Henry and Red. So you got Red on one, so you put Ollie on the other. Or Gap. Brain. Henry.
And we've got no one that's particularly good at sighting. Anyone that we know has good night vision. Because
Yeah,
whoever's got the best sight should be on the night watch.
Well, there's not going to be a fixed night watch.
That's right, 4 hours.
Let's see. Claude is technically a noob as well. Well, how many are up there right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that's a split right there if we move article up a bit.
There we go.
So that gets us 2 PCs on the one and 3 PCs on the other. Probably about right. All right, we'll call it that. So, which one will go first?
How do we assist for his control or for his chase thing? How do we assist?
We'll figure that out in a minute. Let's assume that Hayden's watches first because he's probably a go-getter anyway.
So let's see. He's going to need to apply the handling of the
hold on.
boat.
We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so for the afternoon watch, first one up, you guys are following the Princess Mary.
Did hijinks ensue?
And the Rumjack is a bit behind, as it was not aware that you guys were leaving right away. And I'm presuming that in this early watch, you guys are basically going as fast as you can to get the necessary separation between yourselves and the Rumjack, so you're not actually going slow just yet. But further down, you're going to end up shortening sail and trying to make it look like you're not trying to drag ass. So you are on the Atlantic side of the Lesser Antilles, and over there the seas are a bit choppier. They're somewhat more protected on the inside of the Caribbean Basin, which is neither here nor there, but you will note that Dora is not taking up her usual perch on the bowsprit, seeing as it's a bit splashy up there right now. But she is up and about, keeping an eye on things, whether she's officially on watch or not. And overall, the crew is very focused and serious and are wary of their pursuer and generally looking for things that they can prepare for. They're all expecting to get shot at some point in the near future.
I would like to avoid that if possible.
That seems to be the plan. So normally when one watch is on, the other watch is trying to get some sleep. That may or may not be the case at this point. That's up to you guys.
For the first watch, that won't be the case. After we get some distance from the Rumjack, Hayden wants to run drills. He wants everyone to know what they're supposed to be doing.
All right. Anything doing anybody this period?
What? That wasn't proper English.
Yes, no, it wasn't. Anyone have anything they want to do right now, aside from just the work itself?
Just however I can assist, yeah.
Then we will move on to the chase roll for the first period.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to find out how can we assist on the chase roll.
So, who is on the helm? I suppose you could designate a helmsman for your watch.
Why would that not be Hayden?
It could be.
So the chase roll, is that going to be made by the helmsman or is it going to be made by the master?
It will be made by the helmsman, and there is a reason for that. Now, in this case, if the master is not also the helmsman, then the master can assist with ship handling.
Okay, but wouldn't it be ship handling because it's
Nope.
not just steering that makes a
It
ship
is at
go
this
fast?
point.
Okay, and if that's the case, then Hayden's going to be helmsman for at least the initial distancing procedure.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Then I don't think there's anything that anybody can assist with at this point.
You can do it.
So you're going to be, basically, you're going to be -1 for the chop, and -2 for the handling, and +2 for the speed, which will be overall -1.
Okay.
Where did I put that guy? You might as well save that mod. It's going to be there for a while. All right. Normally that would be no change. In this case, you're able to get the intended separation and hold steady. So, as you observe in the distance, it gets quite a bit harder to distinguish who's doing what on the rumjack. But looks like they've got their act together and are doing their best to keep up. And with that, we go to the next watch. So on the map, you guys are going to move.
And this is when we are doing the drills.
So this would be the point where, well, normally you'd probably do I think this is where he was intending to do the drills.
Yes, during the day
But
and during a time when they can't see what's going on board.
you'd probably end up doing it later at the afternoon watch rather than at the next one, because the next one's the dog watch.
Well,
I mean, I guess you could do it then, but that's normally when dinner is.
So it'll be during the day at a watch that's going to be least disruptive, and we're going to be out of sight of the people on the rumjack, so they can't see that we're actually drilling.
Well, what are you talking about drilling?
Just general drills, as instructions, orders, so that people are familiar. So when shit goes down and an order is shouted, everyone knows exactly what that means, and not what am I supposed to do? And then
okay.
Also drill firing the cannons, loading without actually firing them.
Well, if you load them, you have to fire them.
Well, we will fake load.
But you can work that out. Okay. Yeah, I won't take you. So the watch is normally 4 hours, so you get down to the 4th hour of that first watch there, and you can start going over those drills with everybody. Everyone will be familiar with your expectations of them. So the next watch is the dog watch, and early in that watch, you are able to see the peak of St. Lucia forward of the larboard. Forward of the larboard beam. St. Lucia is the island over there on the map.
Oh.
Yeah, so a little bit into the first half of the dog watch, you see the peak of that island over there, and you expect the sun to go down around mid-watch. As I said before, the dog watch is normally when you guys do dinner, or at least that's the way it is in the Navy. So whichever one's on watch is working, and the other watch is at mess. So for this one, is anybody doing anything in particular? Probably not.
Yeah, I
Anything
can't
to
think of
declare?
anything to do.
Nope.
I may be pestering Randall about potential spiders. See if he has any memory of it.
So you ask Randall what he remembers.
Yep.
Do I remember anything?
You remember a cave and the black woman in there, and
I mean, I'm sure there
They
were spiders
said
in the
things.
cave, but
there were spiders there, obviously, but you don't remember anything particularly weird.
Huh. Oh no, it's happening again.
She might have been wearing a costume or something.
But that's all I'm doing, other than whatever my standard duties are. That's a duty.
Oh, right. And this is the dog watch, so
Roof.
So that means it would be Roger's watch first, then Hayden, which means Rogers will be on the next one. And so, as I said, about the middle of the watch, about the time you guys are going to change over is sundown. Sometime after dark, you guys actually lose sight of the rumjack because her lights are not on.
Gosh, I wonder if she's going to try something sneaky.
Well, there's only so much she can do, honestly.
Afterburner.
If only you could figure out a way to do that.
Maybe cooking device.
So, having said that, that does mean that you can't tell whether she's gaining or falling back. So, any change in procedure, or just move on and assume you got it straight.
Just move on.
Yeah, the princess is probably already going as fast as she can anyway.
No, she's basically station keeping with you.
Oh, okay.
Because everybody's going slow enough for the rumjack to keep up.
I'll step below and inform Hayden, and he says what he just said.
Yeah. All right. Well, you can still see the lights of the Princess Mary ahead. She's not that far. She's not all the way to the horizon, so you can still react to each other. Sometime at mess, Ollie starts a wager over whether or not the rumjack is going to be closer or farther when the sun rises in the morning.
All right, gamblers.
Well, let's see. Closer or further? I'm waiting to hear what Hayden has to say to that. See, as he kind of threw it last time.
Yeah, but the difference there is last time, if you got there, they weren't going to include, potential shooting.
Also, he doesn't want it to be farther away. And he really doesn't want it to be any closer either.
Well, come on, Randall. What are you betting? Because we know you're going to bet.
I don't have any coin recorded on my sheet, so...
You still got some pesos left, don't you?
Recorded them. Oh, 10...
Yeah, I didn't think you spent
10
any of
reals, 10 royals.
Reales, that's what it was.
I have 8 reales. Which is 8 reales equals 1 peso. I have 10 reales. So I don't know.
Well, he will totally take Spanish money if you're betting.
Sure. Why not? We'll go with the 8 pesos to the reales, or 8 reales to the pesos. Sure, I'll bet a peso. That leaves you 2 reales.
You're betting what?
That it'll be
Close, farther, or the same, I guess would be a third option.
I'm gonna bet they're closer. Why not?
All right. You got 8 reales on it being closer in the morning. Anybody else want in on that action?
Not I.
I'll pass.
All right. Sometime later in the second half of the watch, just barely. There's like it's a waxing gibbous or waxing crescent right now, the moon. So there's some light, and you could just make out the silhouette of the peak of Martinique off the larboard bow. That would be the next island in the chain, and you know that one's quite a bit taller, so you're able to spot it a little farther out. Oh, and in case it hadn't occurred to you, and I hadn't mentioned it yet, this map is not exactly accurate.
What?
Alright, so let's see, I guess either one of you can make the roll this time. Who's gonna be on helm for the yeah, Roger's watch has got the next one, so we could grab somebody. Who do you want to put on the helm?
And let's see who.
You got the party sheet?
Oh yeah, let me see. Ah, okay, yeah. I'll have Mr. Bold take the helm.
Alright, Bold will roll for you. Or you can roll for him.
Oh, he can roll. That's fine.
Or somebody else can roll. Make Mark do it.
Just 3D.
Yeah, it's off of 14. So that's 3, 2 up. Brain. Alright, and that is gonna be that. So you don't know how well you did, and that is the dog watch. First watch is the basically the last watch before midnight. Or no, that's after midnight. Right, up to midnight. Yeah, first watch is like 8 to midnight. Don't ask me why they name them what they name them. It doesn't make any damn sense. Alright, so this is the first watch that's going to be all dark. -5 on the vision for darkness. So there is some moonlight. It's not completely black, but black enough you can't see the rumjack. And a little bit into the watch, you can't see the Princess Mary either.
Say we move a little faster. Wait, no, slow down.
Well, make up your mind.
He's not there.
I'm not on watch.
Is the
sleep
Princess Mary running without lights, or is she just gone too far?
She was not running without lights. You did have lights on her earlier. So you could guess as to what might have happened. I mean, it's not that unusual, really. Nothing nefarious. On the other hand, it could have been nefarious.
Frickin' ninjas.
Sea ninjas.
Yep. No one expects sea ninjas.
So, as officer of the watch, Rogers, you guys gonna speed up or hold steady? Slow down?
So who's on this one?
Make a fuss?
Rogers.
Oh, I thought this was the one after mine.
Now the dog watch, you're basically both on, so we just kind of flipped a coin there.
Oh, okay. Well,
Every
I'm going
time
to
I
consult
see it,
Hayden.
every time I see that finger, it's the Monty Python.
Uh-huh.
Let's not speed up.
You're
Yep,
not
so we're
on
gonna
watch.
I went to consult him.
Oh,
You went to.
sorry.
You woke up the captain?
Well,
It's
it
normal.
kind of comes with the
Yeah, it does.
anything
I
unexpected happens. Captain has to be notified.
We want to make sure that the rumjack is inside of us all the time, so we'll not speed up.
Aye.
Because we do, it is common knowledge, or we do know that we are faster than rumjack, yeah?
Yeah. I posted those speeds on the boards. They were actually a bit low because I had the wind wrong on that, but yeah, the general offset is about the same.
I had the wind wrong.
Well, it happens.
Sure thing, Captain OCD.
Oh wait, I forgot to move you guys. Well, right now you don't know where the Princess Mary is, and you don't know where the rumjack is.
That's because we haven't moved on the map.
We have now. Also, of note is the wind started picking up a little bit, getting a little boisterous after dark.
Cool. Hurricane. We need to have the gun battle in a hurricane.
It's a bit early for.
I know. That's why it's so
that.
weird.
All right, and I'm presuming everybody's going to be trying to get some sleep while all this is going on. So let's do the chase roll. Who's on helm? Suppose I should point the finger at whoever's going to be on helm. Or you could point the finger at whoever's going to be on helm. There's finger pointing in this game. You driving?
Yeah, I'll drive the boat.
Alright. Then it's your total control or total chase mods is going to come out to a -1. Drum roll.
8.
Yeah, what did that come to? I didn't tell you what skill that was. Yeah, that's seamanship, by the way.
Ah, okay.
All right, what's your seamanship?
I'm checking. 16, so that's by 8.
Oh, good God.
Well, that'd be 15. Because the
Alright.
-1 would go to the skill, so.
That's true. Still, okay. All right.
It's by 5 at least, I think. Still damn good roll. Well, hopefully.
7. It's by 7.
I said at 5 at least.
Well, you weren't wrong.
Remember, math is hard for me.
And especially on first watch.
Especially on any days that end on Y.
Sunday, 21st of January. Middle watch. Why the first watch on Sunday is middle watch. Yeah, don't ask.
Wouldn't you?
But it is still going to be dark, so this is going to be like midnight to 04. So during that watch, this is going to be Hayden's watch. You will see the island of Martinique continue to grow off to the left.
Are we gonna run into it? The island's gonna have moved.
Oh, I wish I'd have thought of that.
Where are the frickin' polar bears, guys?
And other than that, there's really not a whole lot going on. Surprising no one.
All right.
Still no sight of the Princess Mary. Oh, I didn't move the finger. Still no sight of the Princess Mary. Still no sight of the Rumjack. No idea how you're progressing.
As per normal, not going too fast.
Carry on. Who's gonna be driving for this watch?
Our usual driver, the Mogridge, I think.
All right. Who's gonna roll for him?
So, does that mean Hayden is making a ship handling to assist him?
He can do that.
Oof.
Wow.
So it's whatever Mogridge's
So it's
ship
gonna be
handling
even.
is at 0.
Yep.
That was actually a succeed by 10. There's a one in there for me messing up.
That you rolling for him?
I just randomly threw some stuff out there. We can use that if we wish.
You need to put
Alright.
these guys in the NPC sheet so we can roll.
Well, I have an NPC sheet and I have not shared it
Frickin' slacker.
because, frankly, it's probably not going to be all that useful to you
Well, it'll be useful if we have to roll off something.
until now. I mean, as current evidence to the contrary. Alright, that was middle watch. So, next up is the morning watch, at which point the sun will rise. Rogers is on duty.
Man, I suspect we're all going to be tired.
Well, by this point, you're probably kind of getting used to that whole 4 on 4 off thing.
Yeah, still.
Oh, I would suspect nobody gets used to the 4 on 4 off thing.
Yeah, let's see,
Except
are we on the right one?
weirdos.
Nope, we're on the next one. Alright, moved up on the map. Alright, so, sometime around mid-watch, the sun does in fact come up. You can see Martinique very well off to the left.
Did you say
Nice.
you moved it on the map?
Yes.
Right, I think you have to reshare it for us to actually see.
Are you not seeing the pin moves?
Nope.
Nope.
That's weird.
Huh. We never have to do that if you move those. Maybe I'll make you move those. And also
Can't.
you have the peak. You can see the peak of Dominica ahead of you. And that is after that island is where you were planning to make your turn in.
Well, something weird is going on because I see your pins back there by Barbados, but if I mouse over the area that I should be, I see the Graceful Dame tooltip.
That's interesting. Huh. Let's try this. Can't unshare it. Can't seem to unshare it.
Unshare what?
The map.
You have to do it on images where you click on the P.
Let's try that again.
Hey, I see the thing right now.
Well, that was kind of unhelpful. Alright, well, there you are. As I said, sun comes up. Martinique to the left. Dominica to the fore. Just a bit after sunrise. You guys are whoever's on lookout duty for that watch does in fact spot the Princess Mary, and she has apparently drifted off course to the east, so off to the right. And as you spot her, she appears to be making all sail and redirecting back over to where you are.
Okay, good.
Now the thing is, were they
What
off
about the
course,
Rumjack?
or was it us that was off course?
Well, you could consult your charts and pretty much determine that it looks like they were. Because you're about as close to Martinique as you expected to be.
Yes, and the rumjack.
So, let's see. Somebody should make a spot roll for that.
Claude.
Wow. Well, Hayden's on the ball.
Oh, good.
Hang on one second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Yeah, so, you see that the rumjack is a little farther back than it was, but still visible.
Well, there goes
So
one.
it's definitely hull down. You guys appear to have made a little more progress than you intended to, but not too much.
Then we will slow down a little bit.
You will also notice, since you climbed up to the tops to look out, you'll also notice that off the larboard bow, on the horizon there is another ship. So it is ahead of you.
Do we recognize it at all?
You do not. At first, you just see some sail,
It's a
and
trap.
about 30 minutes later, you still don't see an ensign flying, but you do see that it is flying a waft from the main topstay, which you recognize is the International Signal of Distress. It has 2 masts,
Man.
but one of those masts has apparently fallen.
Wow.
the Princess
Things are about
Mary-
to get interesting.
Is the Princess Mary reacting?
I'm thinking there's probably not a signal for that. So I would say what's probably happening with the Princess Mary is she's dropping back a bit. Like in case you were trying to signal at them, they can see better.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that's rough.
All right. The ship that's in distress. What sort of class and potential threat could she be?
Well, how do you answer that? How do you mean that? You just mean the raw capability of that ship, or the potential of it being enemy?
Well, the raw capability, because we don't know if it's an enemy or not at this point. But we know
you
if she's a war galleon or something.
You can't see it yet. You can't see the hull yet, but you could see that it had 2 masts, and one of them being fallen down apparently, which, given the configuration, you'd probably guess is some kind of brig, or it's probably too big to be a ketch, depending
In
on the kind of
comparison
catch. There
to
are a
us,
lot of
what
things,
does
but
that mean?
so what that means is they're probably bigger than yours, but not like a warship. So it'd be an unrated vessel if it were in the Navy.
So it's potentially dangerous.
Well, any ship could be dangerous.
It's
Well,
almost one of those
it can
where
have more
it's like-
guns and stuff.
It could. Of course, you could have another ship that's exactly like yours and you'd have more guns.
What's the worst that could happen?
Cthulhu is captain?
Is there any sort of standing rules as to whether you should aid a ship in distress?
I'm thinking there probably isn't at this point. It's not like the modern Navy or something like that, where if they're signaling distress, you have to answer. But on the other hand, it's probably I don't know. I think a little further down the road, when the Navy starts to codify its rules a bit more, that sort of thing might become more strict.
Well, we can definitely tell it looks like a mast's down. It's not just a scenario where
It is
somebody's...
definitely crippled.
So it would be a pretty terrible ruse to have destroyed your own mast just to lure people in, right?
Yeah.
And with one mast down, they're crippled completely, or they can still, make sail gimped a little.
They're going to be gimped quite a bit.
One mast
can
down, I think it'd be halfway dangerous. They'd be worried about it capsizing if they're not, got it cut free.
It depends on the specifics of the situation. That could be true.
And in Hayden's experience, what level of danger is there Mayday?
As in, what level of danger
to them
do they think they're in?
So, mast down, are they like screwed, or they'll be fine?
Well, I'll tell you what. Since the player's asking a bunch of questions, I can assume that Hayden's gonna stay up there a little bit longer and observe. As you guys close in another 30 minutes or so, you can tell that not only is she dismasted, but she's also listing very badly to one side and probably sinking.
Well,
And-
I'm seeing.
And no flag, no country or anything?
Looks like the waft she's flying is actually the ensign. Probably French. It's white, but a lot of flags are white.
Dude,
I would vote help them.
yeah.
Alright, and given her size, are we in a capacity to help? Or would us turning up put us at risk?
Depends on how you mean to help, I guess.
Well, to take their crew, save their crew, and any particularly valuable cargo.
Yeah, there could be somebody hurt over there.
But if there's 100 people on that ship, is 100 people coming on board our ship going to put us at risk?
Well, there's no way you're getting 100 people on this ship. But you do have the Princess Mary here, too.
It'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen?
I think between the two of you, you could probably take on whatever they have.
Okay, well, if Hayden's confident then that that's the case, then he'll try and signal the Princess Mary, and then we will make course for this ship to render assistance. But if
Still
at
maintaining
any
alert status.
if at any time Hayden decides or sees that helping these guys is going to be detrimental to us, then Hayden's quite prepared to let them die.
Right.
No point having two ships go down at the expense of one.
So, with that in mind, it's the distance between you and the Rumjack is enough that it's going to take multiple hours for them to reach you if you were to dead stop where you are. So, it'll put you at a disadvantage especially if you dally too long, but you could still make it work potentially.
All right. Well, that's what we'll do. And Hayden has already determined that the Rumjack is going to be at a disadvantage if it's dealing with the Princess Mary and us at the same time. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So another 30 minutes of closing with the distressed ship. You are able to spot a boat that appears to be collecting survivors out of the water, and
What if
at
they
least
ran
a couple of
mermaid?
guys there waving
right,
their
right.
arms.
They were attacked by mermen. That's
I mean, it's possible.
completely what happened. I don't think that's actually what happened.
I don't know. I got a good look at that guy. Tail and all. He flittered off and fishy
That
tail
wasn't
looked
a
like a
tail.
shark.
All right, so you guys close in.
They want our ladies.
Prepare the longboat.
Well, you don't have a longboat.
Oh, what do we do with it?
You
We
got a
ate
cockboat.
it.
Oh, the boat.
You can prepare what you have.
Prepare what we have.
Okay. Yeah, so as you guys close in, They are crying out for help in French.
Hello, hello.
You can see that the boat that they have there, struggling to get people aboard, is not big enough for the amount of survivors that are swimming to it. So you guys plan to heave to nearby and lower the boat?
Yes.
All right. You know that normally takes about 10 minutes to lower the boat.
Can we not be
and you
lowering
start-
the boat as we're moving
Well-
towards them to save time?
You won't have anybody to work the sail. You can deal with that. I'm not going to make a big fuss about it. I'm just letting you know.
And we'll have Mr. Pelage running security. So he is to have a number of rifles loaded, ready at his side, so he can just fire off a number of shots if we need to.
And you guys had signaled the Princess Mary. She also doubles back and heaves to and sends a boat of her own. By the count, you got at least a couple dozen survivors, which is probably short for a skeleton crew on a ship that size. It looks like it's probably about a 150-ton brig, or actually a snow. And you collect what you collect. So how are you going to split those up?
We will stick most of the people on the Princess Mary, given that we expect to be engaged in a couple of days or a day.
How many survivors will you take?
If we can fit them all on the Princess Mary, then they'll all go there.
The Princess Mary does have a full crew, so she's going to at least try to get you guys to take some of them.
Then we'll take some.
Where's the nearest port after this? Can we just ditch them at a
Where
nearby
we're
port?
going, I think.
No, there are a number of spots along the way that you could stop. The next island up in the chain is Guadeloupe, and there's a major French port there. But you're also on the windward side of Martinique, which is also French territory. You have to sail all the way around it to drop them off, but you could if you had to.
No, but the Pelican's expecting us at a certain point.
Presumably.
As a handful of those survivors clamber aboard your cockboat, they say merci beaucoup, and they're very happy to see you.
And ask him in French, what happened.
I speak French too.
Well, you can ask him too.
No, that's fine. I'll be part of the conversation.
As you are rowing back to the graceful dame, they will inform you that they struck a reef, and they were hauled below the waterline, and they lasted for a number of hours before it finally gave out on them. They were headed for Guadeloupe, actually.
Mr. Spencer, do you think the merman could have... Yeah, I say this in English. Do you think the merman could have planted that reef?
And give him a really, really look.
One of them introduces himself as Monsieur Bastien Dufresne. He is the ship's master.
Mr. Dufresne crawled through a river of shit.
I had not even considered that.
And now you have, and we
And now I
cast him.
have.
Is it any worse than the shit?
No, it's not nearly as bad as that. Okay, so I want to say you probably got about 5 or 6 of them on your side, and the other dozen going to be on the Princess Mary. You guys,
Wow, striking a reef is most unfortunate.
you guys pack up quick and get back underway in a hurry. Do you inform them that of your situation?
I have no reason not to, because Spencer doesn't think like that. So he's going to probably, he's absent-mindedly, tell him, yeah, we're gonna help you out, but we can't stay very long because we're being chased by piratical types.
And in that also, is there any cargo you'd like us to attempt to rescue in whatever time we might have.
As you say that, you look back over the brig and you see the deck is awash. You figure, yeah, you're probably not going to get anything out of that.
I'm sorry about your ship.
Can we? Can we
wait,
mark it on a map?
And Monsieur Dufresne looks back as well and looks clearly dejected. Mentions that they had a hold full of cotton and tobacco from New France.
Yeah, that's useless.
And it's
now.
all lost.
Alright, well, as we get under sail
Where's
again.
New France?
New Orleans.
Okay. Is it not called
Louisiana.
Collins yet?
Well, the city may be New Orleans, but the state itself is New France. I don't think they're referring to it as Louisiana yet. Although it might be. I can stand corrected on that. All right, and yes, if you, the captain will, via translator, ask if they could be potentially dropped off at Guadeloupe on your way, which it is effectively on your way, so you're cool.
We will do
I wanna
that.
say
However,
Louisiana was after Napoleon was dethroned.
Was it?
Don't quote me 100%, but I think
Yeah.
so.
Well, no, that's Louisiana Purchase. That was
No,
while
'cause-
Napoleon.
Well, that was much later.
Yeah, Napoleon sold it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I must be misremembering that then. Like I said, don't quote me 100%.
We'll only quote the bad parts.
That figures.
okay, so once we're underway, Hayden's going to take Mr. Dufresne to his charts table, and he'd like Dufresne to point out where this reef was.
As you mention the charts, you hear who apparently is their first mate kind of scoffing, and the captain kind of throws him a dirty look.
He's gonna say it wasn't a reef, it was mermen, and Randall's gonna be like, absolutely.
I knew that.
Hayden will ask, is there an issue?
The first mate, who apparently speaks some English, although not well, seems to indicate that there is in fact an issue, and that the captain doesn't know where the hell he is.
Oh, does
Spencer-
Hayden speak French?
Spencer will recognize the accent and some of the cursing surrounding his words. That the first mate is probably Portuguese.
Isn't Davino No, Davino is Italian.
Venetian specific.
I will have to potentially attempt some Portuguese to confirm that theory.
Also,
Okay. Well, the if you can't point it out on the map, then Hayden's not going to push it any further, and then he's going to want to see these guys separately over time. So he'll take the captain into his room and talk to him, and basically just
not much of a room on this boat. Remember?
yeah,
well, he'll take him
at
aside
the table.
and we'll basically take notes, ask the captain what happened, and he'll note this in his log, and then he'll take the first officer aside and do exactly the same and compare stories.
Well, if nothing else, they struck a reef. That would indicate that's where the boat is, or the ship went down, right?
Not
Well,
necessarily.
the reef was a little further back. They didn't stop there. It kept going after it was holed and eventually sank.
Okay. Well, if nothing else, he can at least mark on his charts, the whole, hey, yeah, ship went down here-ish.
Right.
Reef in this area-ish.
You expect there's going to be some disagreement about where exactly that was.
Well, Spencer's also going to see to any of the injuries that he can.
There are some injuries. They were mostly minor. They will indicate that not all of them were. And in fact, some people did die in the process of the accident itself. So they are short a few.
Man,
There-
these dudes are gonna shank their captain before we get there.
There's a number of them are suffering from having swallowed seawater and that sort of thing. They're not that big a deal. But yeah, there's some cuts and bruises and nothing too serious, so you'll take some time and deal with them.
Yep. While chatting, likely in French, presuming they speak French.
They do speak French. There are a handful that speak a little bit of English here and there.
Catch up on some local news. Where have they been? Where are they going? How's their parents? What's the weather?
And you almost forgot about the fact that the Rumjack was pursuing you.
No, we didn't.
And it
Not
did
really.
it did get a lot closer. Although once you got under sail, you're able to build that separation back up, maybe. But we'll see how well you did shortly. Since Spencer was specifically talking to the Portuguese fellow, you will find out that his name is Bruno,
Nice.
who is unfortunately not in the chat.
Alas.
Figures. He will be very sad.
Is their master wholly French?
Yes,
So does he not speak Portuguese?
he does not.
Okay, if that's the case, then I suspect once, Mr. Bruno here discovers I do speak Portuguese, he can tell me everything he can unload.
Right. Well, and he will gladly tell you the story of how the captain, who thought he was headed toward Martinique, or thought he was headed toward Guadeloupe, turned out he was headed toward Martinique, and as the first officer, he tried to point this out to the captain. The captain got upset at having been questioned in front of the men.
Great.
Mm.
And
That guy's a lieutenant.
was looking at the wrong charts and ended up striking that reef, at which point a number of men were killed in the process, and then eventually, as you know, the ship was lost.
Is that reef on our charts?
I don't think you're going to see individual reefs on the charts like that, but there are some shallows around there that you can kind of, once Spencer and once you talk to the first mate and sort of get the three-dimensional picture of the situation, you can kind of figure out where that was. But the captain was looking at the wrong charts.
Don't.
When was the time that British were most recently at war with France?
Let me think here.
If it's recent, then Hayden's internal monologue will be typical French.
The last war was the war of the Quadruple Alliance, in which case you guys were allied with the French.
Doesn't
The
mean he
previous-
couldn't be thinking typical French.
Well, still. The previous war was the War of Spanish Succession, also known as the Queen Anne's War. I don't recall where the French were in that one. But I don't think they were on the Spanish side. So I don't think you've actually been at war with France for a while.
Then his internal monologue would be the same, but not as disrespectful.
They are still French, after all. You guys will also make note as you get settled in with the additional passengers that the cat is basically hiding in the hold somewhere.
Don't eat it.
He doesn't approve of the strangers. So, this has
Actually,
kind of been
looking 1702 to 1713, Queen Anne's War. It looks like England and France were on opposite sides.
Were they?
France was allied with Spain.
Okay, take it back.
These territorial changes, France cedes to Britain the control of Acadia, Newfoundland, Hudson Bay, and St. Kitts.
Right. That's when those handovers happened. See, I stand corrected. Or sit. So yeah, this watch has been a bit screwed up, but I believe you were gonna have Bold on the helm for Rogers.
Yes.
How much time did we lose with regards to the Rumjack?
We're about to find out. You have the minus... Okay. You
Minus
got
5.
-1 for the chop. You got -2 for the handling. You do not get the speed bonus because this is a disembark-embark maneuver, so it's static.
In that case, I'll do it myself.
And the rumjack gets a free range shift.
Total of -3.
Minus 5
So-
on handling.
You got -3 even? It's
No, it
just
should be
-3
minus
for you.
5. Should be minus 5 because you said -1 for what was your stuff? It's like -1 for the chop.
-1 for chop, -2 for handling.
Okay, never mind. -3. Yeah, my mistake. Your
Okay.
fault.
All right, so yeah, -3 for you.
Nice.
Jesus. Well, it's a good time for it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's
You
see how
said,
they
"Oh,
do.
hell to the no."
Wow, that was a decent roll too. Not nearly that decent. So, Rogers
Hold my
was
rum and
so
lime
on the
juice.
ball on
He
the helm.
used a sunken ship to put some in there, so the rumjack is gonna go crap. We have to slow down a little bit to get around this stupid the debris here.
Rogers decided to pull some shenaniganry with the sails, so that he could get them all set in record time as soon as the boats were recovered.
Yeah, got people up
And,
there pouring water on them so they'll draw better, that kind of thing.
So the rumjack would have gained, but ended up not gaining.
Nice.
Fantastic
did a
sailing,
thing.
Bill.
Thanks, John.
So by the end of the watch, the rumjack was back out where you left her. And that was the morning watch. Next watch, somebody moved the pins.
Maybe put the French guys to work too.
They will agree to help. They will also agree to fight if that comes necessary.
In that case, we're going to repeat our drills.
Can't move the green one.
I moved it.
Allons-y.
You did?
Yes.
That's weird. So you're moving them, but it's not updating for me. How odd.
How bizarre. How bizarre.
I guess
No,
you
it's-
could create a tracker item for the ship and then attach a pin that way.
It's probably not worth it. Okay, well, you guys are on the next one anyway. Can you see my arrows at least?
Yes.
All right, you guys are getting closer to Dominica and closer to your point of expected turning in. And if you do still see the blue pin up there, that's where you were expecting to meet the Pelican. So, it is now the forenoon watch. This is Hayden's watch. I will move the finger.
Doing the drills, and if there's a language barrier, Hayden's going
You
to make
speak
sure.
French?
French? No.
Yeah.
So you'll probably need a midshipman to relay your French orders.
Well, Randall speaks French, so
Randall speaks French. Claude speaks French, obviously. Article. I think
Arnold gets distracted.
I think at least one or two of the NPCs speak some French. So, not too terrible. It is, however, closing in on noon on Sunday, and I'm guessing your drilling is going to take the place of divine service for today.
Well, actually, that might be a good idea to sort of do the divine services for those guys, so they can at least say goodbye to their fallen.
Yeah, super brief though.
Do a
And
quick.
Center's totally okay with providing a running translation for the guys who don't speak English.
We'll have a brief service.
As
All
we
right.
commit the now deceased captain to to the deep, he apparently
There-
slipped and fell on a knife 26 times.
There are also some dirty looks during that service,
Aimed at.
specifically between the captain and Bruno. You'll also note that during this watch, you can see the peak of Marie Gallant, the little island at the yeah, that one. Technically that's part technically that's part of Guadeloupe. I think. Maybe it isn't. Yeah, at any rate. And yeah, so you guys drill, you guys keep watch. During this watch, the captain and his first mate, who have been staring daggers at each other the whole time so far, start arguing.
Uh-oh, they're gonna come to blows.
And they start to argue very loudly, and you see some of the handful of their guys are sort of taking sides, and you can hear them arguing over the accident and the people that died. And the ones that do speak French can hear that they basically the argument is over whose fault it is. The master obviously made a mistake with regard to the charts. However, his case is that because of Bruno's improper bringing up of the problem in front of the men resulted in their hesitation and equivocation to his orders, at which point caused the accident to occur. And the two don't seem to be making a whole lot of headway as far as deciding which one is actually at fault in that regard. And it looks to be like it will result in actual fisticuffs.
Not a duel? Savages.
If nobody else is gonna get involved, I think Spencer's gonna try to step in and do the whole. This is not the time and place for this, guys. We're being chased by piratical types, remember?
Conduct yourselves like gentlemen, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Agree to meet with pistols at dawn once we reach Guadeloupe.
That sounds kind of like diplomacy to me.
It does sound kind of like diplomacy. Crap, I'm not super great at diplomacy. Here goes nothing. Hey, that's not nothing.
Still at 12. That's pretty good.
That's not great. I generally prefer to have 13s. And then I'm like, okay, because 12 always just seems to go, F you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. 12 is when you compare it to my 15.
Oh, you have a 15 in diplomacy? Damn, you should have jumped in there.
Maybe I wanted to take a bet on who's going to win the fisticuffs.
Try to get your money back.
I was quite happy to let them go for it, as long as the rest of the crew, stood out of it. Let those two guys settle it themselves.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, I didn't want to give myself more work.
Take away their weapons. Make them do it bare knuckle.
Well, Artigal inserted himself in the middle of that and appealed to their sense of propriety and the impending potential other fisticuffs going on, and they agreed to put this off for later.
I'm going to thank them both.
And with that, we will make the chase roll. So we're back to normal. It's going to be a -1. Who was helming? Was that Mogridge?
Yes.
Make
Alright.
Ethan roll. He's been too quiet.
Now we're getting close to the ambush site, right?
You are.
So we want to slow down a little bit on this one.
Well, now if you succeed enough, you basically put them where you want them. So that doesn't necessarily mean if you roll really well, you're going to get away from them. But yeah, your next watch is at the point where you're going to expect to have to pull some shenaniganry to get them to come in close.
Are we going to make Ethan roll?
Say, why not? Ethan should roll.
Too damn quiet. Just sits there. It's creeping me out. Always think he's up to something. Damn Canadians.
Part of the master.
Very, very steep.
So, roll 3D there, Ethan.
All right. No further progress made. And you guys will also note for the forenoon watch that that the clouds have been building up a bit during the day, and both Rogers and Hayden are looking at going, yeah, it's going to rain tonight.
Hey, I have weather sense.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
I picked it up as well.
yeah, I rolled for you guys, but I forgot.
Cool.
I forgot Spencer had it.
It's going to start raining at 4:51 and 32 seconds.
So, next watch.
Oddly specific, John.
On a margin critical, it allows me to be.
Oh, that's weird. So I'm getting the same thing that you guys are getting, where I'm hovering. I can see the. Oh, that's interesting. Okay,
I
so
moved it
you moved it.
just now.
I
Here,
have
here,
the
I'll
I
move
have
it
the hit.
again. I moved
I have
it
the hit
again.
box. I can see the hit box for the pen, but the pen isn't there, or the actual graphic for it isn't there, and I can grab it, and it actually moved.
Okay,
What if
I
you
moved
do
it again.
the resync sharing thing?
That didn't work last time.
So you've got reshare, and then you've got the resync or whatever.
That I'm not familiar with. Is that? Oh, okay. Sync client view. Did that work?
I don't know. Have a look at the stream.
I
to
can't.
see if
I can't
it's
see where the
worked.
rum jack or where. I can't see where the PC ship is.
Have a look at the stream, and then you'll see what I've got set
Yeah,
up.
I'm trying. Oh, because it's off to the side. That's why. So did it just move?
Don't think so.
Now, if I resync. No, you're definitely still not seeing it, right? About if I reshare. Yeah, that sucker's just not going to play along, is it?
Do the grid. Go plus minus on the grid. Did that do anything?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If it's going to become significant, I'd just put in an entry in the tracker for the various ships. Set the Princess to be friendly, us to friendly, and the Rumjack to be unfriendly, and that way you can hide and reveal as needed.
Yeah, I suppose I have to bear that in mind for the future. All right, well, we are new watch. That is going to be Roger's watch.
So how would the range bands now? Did they make any ground?
They have not.
All right, so then we will give them ground.
Right. So afternoon watch. The clouds have been building up, and they're starting. They have gotten a little. The sun is going away, but at the same time, there's a fog. Just kind of came out of nowhere.
I'll take a last bearing while I still can.
Was not expected. And sometime in the middle of the watch, you guys will make your turn to the west, with the expectation that you would make a mess of the maneuver so that Rumjack could catch up.
I'll call for extra lights to be lit so that we'll improve our visibility in the fog, maybe. Not our ability to see, but our ability to be seen from a distance.
It seems like the Princess Mary is doing the same.
Good.
And she's turned ahead of you. You have not sighted the Pelican. And now with the fog rolling in, you half expect you won't. Alright, anybody else doing anything during this period?
Yeah, I'm going to leave an order for the bell to be sounded once every 15 minutes.
Alright.
Sound carries a lot further than light in fog like this.
Moving among our guests and chatting with them.
They're all scratching their head at this whole fog business. It seems kind of late in the evening for that sort of thing. Or early in the evening, I guess I should say.
Does it seem odd with the weather sense stuff?
You would normally expect something like that to happen overnight.
Huh. Wonder if it's fairy work.
I wonder if it's the mermaids.
They're the same thing.
You wonder if everything's the mermaids.
It has to do with water? Yeah.
You always say that. You always say, I got a bad feeling about this drop. All right. Then we shall do the chase roll. And this time you're intentionally flubbing it up. So I suppose what I will do with that is call that a stunt. So this will be a tactical stunt, although I think I would probably allow seamanship for that as well.
Okay.
And you'd make, so whatever your penalty is going to affect the Rumjack's ability to see it coming. Or to, in your case, suspect that something is amiss.
Yeah, one reason for wanting to improve our visibility and audibility was so that they would not suspect that we were up to something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say the fog isn't that thick yet. You've still got several miles of visibility, but it's definitely increasing.
Okay. I won't. In that case, I won't call for the bell until we can't see the princess.
Ah, okay. Yeah, not quite there yet.
Cool. So what's my penalty?
For the stunt itself, it's whatever you set your penalty to.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like, how did that go?
I'm going to take a -3 then, I think.
Roll against the skill you're any even penalty, like, so.
Oh, it has to be even, so either 2 or 4.
Yeah.
I'm hesitant to say 4, but what the hell? I'll try it.
And then it's a +1 on the chase roll for every -2 on that.
Ha! Made it.
All right, so
+2 on the chase roll.
He'll be affected by 2. Yeah, just call it that. That'll work. All
and
right.
Any penalties in addition to the -2?
That is still going to be the standard -1.
So that puts me at a net
so
+1.
That puts you at a net +1. And Bold is doing rolling
great
for that. Or you're taking the helm.
Yeah, because of the unusual conditions.
Wow. All right. Well, you guys hit the brakes and cut in, and the Rumjack is, as expected, closing and quickly. Although you would say, tactically, you'd look at that and say that they've not 100% committed. So they didn't charge you guns out, but they have closed.
Okay. I'll update Hayden when he comes on deck.
Which is coming up. Next watch.
And I'll tell everybody, good job, as they go below.
So, it is now the dog watch. And this is about the time you were expecting to rendezvous with the Pelican, and you still don't see her anywhere. But the fog has increased considerably over the last few hours, and visibility is now down to about a half mile. So at this point is when you'd probably start with the bells.
Alright, well then we will start with bells.
Unless you want to bring the Princess Mary in closer.
Is it typical to bring ships in closer when they're in escort or convoy?
Yeah, it is if you can't see where you're going, I guess.
We'll use the bells for now.
Well, the Rumjack isn't doing bells. You can see that the Rumjack is attempting to keep up still, just out there at the edge of the fog, at the edge of your visibility. So it's far enough at this point you can't really tell if they got gun ports open or if they're doing something fancy. Now you are still trying to keep station.
Yes, though we can't see the Pelican at all, right?
Nope.
Well, we shall just continue as planned. Keep the Rumjack at our visibility.
All right, you are sailing between Dominica and Guadalupe. There's about 17-mile separation there. It's pretty tight. Yeah, in nautical terms, I guess. And yeah, visibility is down to about a half mile, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. If something were to jump out at you, you'd have about 5 minutes worth of time to react to it. The Rumjack is keeping up. Does not appear to be shortening sail or doing anything that would slow it down. A couple hours into the watch, Claude is on lookout and calls out there's a ship spotted dead ahead.
And can we identify it as the Pelican?
Claude is unsure what that is. It does not look like the Pelican. It looks weird.
Uh-oh.
It's that ghost ship.
Ghost ship? Sweet.
It appears they're hove to.
Hmm.
So, effectively, they are stopped. Dead in front of you.
And it's not what? It's not a recognizable ship.
You gonna run up to the tops and get a look yourself?
Yes.
Claude's a noob. Alright. You get up there, break out the glass. That is not a 6th rate. Probably a 5th rate. And it doesn't look right. Something weird about it.
Sails aren't moving.
Well, that's possibly true. The sails don't look like they're moving. And about that time, you notice that the ship has flying from its topmast a commissioning pennant. And you recall a story about a ship called the Charon that had been cursed and was never able to get back into port. And you just remember this little bit about the commissioning pennant that keeps growing and growing every year. It can't get back into port. And so it's supposedly impossibly long and dragging into the water. And it seems to be the case here. Now, obviously, somebody could do that on purpose just to trick you.
Well, we should alter course.
Which way shall you alter your course? Left or right?
The way that sees us get the most advantage with regards to wind and conditions.
I suppose you go to the right. That would probably do. And as I said, because of the distances involved here, you got about 5 minutes to execute that maneuver, which is about as fast as you can get it done.
So that's what we'll do.
About the time that you start yelling those orders, the other ship starts to turn in and head in your direction.
That seems bad.
It's even named Ghost Ship. Man.
Yeah, but it's in quotes.
Now, the way that it's turning in, is it like going against the wind or anything like that? Is it obeying the laws of physics?
It is not obeying the laws of physics, as you know them.
It's not obeying the laws of physics.
You cannot change the laws of physics.
You find that
Good stuff.
oddly concerning.
Well, there's not much we can do about it other than try and avoid it as best we can.
Just charge forward, keep going.
Yes, otherwise, but we will beat to quarters.
Ah,
Okay, so the watch below rolls out of their hammocks and whatever and rushes on deck.
to be fair, you were expecting to rendezvous with the Pelican here, so you might have been doing that anyway. And it's the dog watch, so everybody's kind of running around. But yeah, beat to quarters, charge forward. God help us all.
Yep.
The ship charges straight at you, as far as you could tell.
British. So it's God, St. George, and St. Michael, isn't it?
Or, as it turns out, not exactly straight at you, and passes right by you within probably a pistol shot.
If it's sailing past, then Hayden's going to adopt the position, hanging off the rigging at the bow of the ship, and just sort of watch it closely.
As you
That's
as
the last
you
we ever
observe,
saw of Hayden.
I was going to say he's going to adopt that position hanging off the side of the ship opposite where they are, in case he needs to bail. It has a crew, probably in the 100 or so, which is probably typical for what's likely a 5th rate here. 40 guns, They don't look right either.
Wave.
Well, no need to be rude. I'll raise my hat in a pistol shot distance salute.
There you go. Now that's
Yeah.
British.
Yes, indeed.
You're not sure. You kind of feel like they're just sort of giving you that glare as you go by, or maybe they're not, but they just go by.
Right, chicks?
Some filthy pirates back that way, sir. You might want to be careful.
As a matter of fact, you look back there and they seem to be headed straight for the Rumjack.
Oh, snap.
Have fun.
But sail on then, probably. Hope something
Well, I'm
happens
kind
before
of
they're out of
curious
sight.
to see what's going to happen.
Me
Well,
too
you
now.
swim over there and look.
We're not stopping for you.
Well, we're going to find out because the Rumjack's within sight of us, so...
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Hopefully
they're only so
whatever's
far.
going to go. Hopefully whatever's going to go down will go down before we're too far away to see it.
Yeah, if you guys are moving forward and the Rumjack stops or something, you're not going to see what happens to them. They do look like they're trying to evade, though.
I'm curious, but I'm not that curious that we're going to stop.
Do you have curiosity?
I don't think he does.
I don't either.
No, I don't.
Well, good luck with that.
Find out what's Dora doing during that. How's she reacting?
Oh, wow.
She's asleep,
Wasted roll.
snoring like a log. Well, like a female log.
For a moment then, Hayden thinks that he may have to change his dosage.
By the way...
Until it is confirmed that everyone saw the same thing.
Speaking of that, I'll get a fright check at -3 from everybody.
What does stiff upper lip do for that?
That means if you roll a 14 on the die, it is not a fail automatically. Unlike normally it would be.
Hmm.
Woo! Wait, no, that's not my roll. Oh.
Anybody make it? Davino made it. No, that was curious.
Spencer made it.
Wow. Just barely.
Actually, combat reflexes gives you a +2.
That should already be factored in GCA.
And GCA is, but GCA doesn't import fright checks on the character sheet.
Yeah, I guess that's true. We should change that. We should have those actually generate on the other abilities. That's a thought. All right, we'll make note of those fails.
In Hayden's
That'll
case,
come
it
up
would have
again.
been a success by 0 with the combat reflexes bonus.
Ah,
Wait a second.
okay.
I may not have combat reflexes. Yeah, no, I do.
Don't you?
I just had to check.
Stunned. And I get a new
And
quirk.
a quirk. Oh, there's another guy with a new quirk.
Let me think
Didn't
about it.
Davino
I'll
end
come
up with a
something.
quirk last time? Yeah, he's
Yes,
got
I
the fear of spiders.
Doesn't
How's
know
the rest
why.
of our crew doing?
Well, let's see.
Don't know why, but this scene reminded me of this song.
God help me.
Oh, I love that song.
Weirdo.
It doesn't actually sound familiar.
There's a much better version by the folk singer Nixie. Or is it Vixie?
That's weird.
If you have a link, that would be awesome because I love that song.
Oh, yeah.
It has inspired many a thing in some of my games.
Let's see. Rogers would have gotten 1 stability point damage, and I think he's the only one. Because it's like 1 for 3. Right, well, so you guys are not stopping. And,
That's the Vixie version.
and ignoring the curious itch in the back of your mind to see what actually happens. And you see the ghost ship basically hit the same location as the Rumjack, so the Rumjack tried to evade and they intercepted. And it looked like they just rammed them. But you didn't hear a crash or anything, and now they're outside your visibility range in the fog.
Wait, we're not gonna investigate?
I'll turn to Hayden and say, do you want to go back and see what happened?
I do.
I do.
I wasn't talking to you.
All the French guys and all the other NPCs are like shaking their head. No. Well, a couple of them aren't.
Well, Hayden succeeded his fright check, so he's still got a cool head. The intention was always to keep the rumjack within sight so that we could pull off our plan. So, if need be, we will slow enough so that the rumjack always remains in sight.
Okay, so we'll take in sail.
I'm gonna go over with some smelling salts and wake up Red.
What? Is it over?
Just what
My new
over?
quirk. My new quirk is considers fog an ill omen.
I think everybody has
Good
that.
one. I don't. It's just fog.
I don't either.
All right, so you slow the ship. I'm trying to think. Can you signal the Princess Mary to do the same?
Well, wouldn't they just be reacting to us as well, so they can keep us in sight?
Actually, you kind of lost them at that point because they were a little bit ahead when you encountered the ghost ship ahead of you. So they probably didn't see that or saw it at the last second or something. But you don't see them right now. It's possible they're trying to get turned around. So that happened. You heard nothing behind you, and you start to slow. And as you do, the rumjack sort of reappears in silhouette at the edge of the fog, still coming. Looks like.
Do we hear, shouts and the crew working the ship and stuff like we should over the seas?
Screaming.
No.
I was afraid of that.
In fact, it's kind of
Eerie quiet.
it looks like it's kind of drifting.
I was afraid of
off
that.
to the side.
They sailed through them and took their souls.
So around this time, you start feeling the little patter of rain, and you can see that the light is also failing. So the sun is going down, and the fog starts to clear off actually pretty quickly. You're able to see the Princess Mary, and she was indeed trying to come about. And the rumjack is still sort of aimlessly slipping forward, and you see 0 bodies aboard doing anything.
I think they might need assistance.
I'll hand my glass to Hayden so he can see closer, and I'll say, "It looks like a prize. Might be abandoned."
Well, if you use the glass, you can see that. Well, no, looks like they're just sleepy.
Oh, never mind. But yeah, I am gonna hand Hayden the glass so he can see too.
So it's coming on dark?
Yes.
And they are sleeping or dead on deck.
Yeah, it was already clouding up, and now the sun's going down as well.
Well, then that may well be Bill, but I think, given that it's coming on dark, we'll sail with them in sight through the night and see what happens come the morning.
Very good. Looking back at the rumjack, is its course variable? Like the wheel is spinning free, maybe?
Well, they don't have a wheel, but you don't see anybody working the tiller.
So it'll be at midship, so the direction it's heading is the direction it'll keep going.
Yeah.
Well, actually, my understanding is the way that they're designed is that if there's nobody at the helm, it'll eventually point itself into the wind. But that may take a while.
And still no sight of the Pelican?
Well,
the fog clears?
as it happens, the Princess Mary was coming about, and she runs up the signal for the Pelican sighted. Now, she was a little farther out than you, so you couldn't see it at the time. but a few minutes later you can see sail on the horizon, just past, in silhouette, just past the sun, the lowering sun. And indeed, she is coming in fast.
Okay, well then we'll just maintain, keep an eye on the rumjack, wait for the Pelican to come in, and then hopefully she doesn't just blast this thing.
Yeah, the rumjack's ports were open. Gun ports were open. But yeah, it's definitely not under any sort of control at this point, and you would probably guess that eventually it's gonna turn around and end up beached.
Nonsense. The Pelican captain will take it,
Well, that was the original deal.
Free ship.
and that won't cause him, trouble at all.
That was part of the arrangement, though. They were going to take it as a prize
Yeah.
in exchange for helping us.
What is your intention as far as, what's your intention at this point? You gonna just stick close to the rumjack, stay away from it, get out of the way?
Well, as a player, I would love to go on board and investigate, but as Hayden, he's just going to keep his distance.
So sort of follow at an arm's reach.
Yes.
All right. The Princess Mary is sort of forming up with you, doing the same thing. The Pelican, however, charges dead in and fires a warning shot in front of the rumjack, which they don't respond to at all for obvious reasons.
Is there a means for us to signal the rumjack? Sorry, the
Flag
Pelican?
walker.
I'm presuming that you had some signals arranged before. I don't know what kind of signals you might have arranged for.
Probably flags and colored lights.
Well, I don't mean the specifics of it, but what are you attempting to communicate?
That she doesn't appear to be a threat.
You probably didn't have a flag for that.
Or
Disengage.
Stand down.
Well, really, they're a military vessel, so they're going to do what they want. I mean, we're not
True.
going to
Well,
dictate.
also true.
Yeah, we're not going to dictate them to stand down. They'll come about and they'll note that the crew's probably not doing anything.
And also, so much for free ship. They're taking that.
Well,
Oh,
they do
yeah,
charge.
That was part of the
Yeah,
plan.
that was
anyway.
expected anyway. They do charge right on in. If you were going to try to run up a don't bother flag, they do promptly ignore it. And seeing as the rumjack isn't responding either with guns or with any other sort of signal, they pull in close and throw grapples and board the ship.
Yep. So that's the
We
end of
should
that.
wheel around and at least chat with their captain, because he was the one.
I
that,
mean,
he was the one that had the encounter with the ghost ship before, right?
I don't recall.
yeah,
that
he's
he
the one who
has.
told us about it.
Yeah, no, it
Did
wasn't him. It was the lieutenant.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
his lieutenant that told you that they had seen a ghost ship.
Oh, okay.
Oh, just occurred to me.
Well, once they've secured the ship, then we'll turn around.
All right. You did hear a couple of gunshots here and there, but that kind of fizzled out pretty quickly. And in the rain, in the dark, that's basically it. They board, and then they pull away. And
They're
then
not
they
going
will,
to exchange words or anything with us.
and then they
What
will.
did you guys do to those guys?
and then they'll. I'm presuming they're going to fire a gun to signal you to heave to.
And we shall do that.
And the Princess Mary will also do so.
We shall lower the boat and row across.
And with that, I will take a quick break, and we will get back to it.
Okay, going for a break.
Damn piratical ghosts.
All right, we're back.
Now we're back. All right. Who are you taking in the boat with you across to the Pelican?
The PCs.
Indeed. You will see that there is also a boat leaving from the Princess Mary doing the same with a couple of guys.
Should probably also take the captain and the XO of the other boat that we retrieved.
Oh, smart.
Yeah.
Why?
To basically, if possible,
Intelligence, record keeping.
yeah, and if possible, we might be able to just turn them over to what was the captain's name again? I don't remember what that other captain's name was on the English guy.
Did Spencer actually interact with him?
No, but he
Yeah,
interacted with the lieutenant, so he knows the
That's
captain's
true.
name.
It was Lockhart.
And
Yeah.
I think it's probably better to discuss their fate without them present, and then if
Well, your call.
if they want to take this guy on board, then we can hand him over.
And I figured they might even be able to just sort of turn them into a semi-prize crew.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, but that can happen. That can happen after. There's nothing to say we can't go back and get them.
Yep.
Well, Captain Lockhart will greet you at the rail and invite you aboard. His mood is somewhat somber, as you might not be surprised to see.
How freaked out are his crew right now?
They are also somewhat somber, as you would not be surprised to see.
Is the lieutenant who told us about the ghost ship present?
He is, although
good.
he is not speaking to you because he's standing at attention, greeting you.
Permission to come aboard.
Granted. We dine.
Climb up.
So he invites everybody back to the gallery for dinner.
Who was on
Thank
the
you,
other
Captain.
boat? Was it the other captain?
Ben Cox. So
Wow, he has
Hey.
a big ship.
yeah, it's not that big.
Well,
They-
we don't have this kind of room in ours.
You big compared to yours, definitely. I think it's a little over 300 tons, and that's a little bitty Navy ship. Yeah, so they crammed a lot of you in there. You got 5 of you, a couple of the Princess Mary, and some of his top officers, including Lieutenant Bull, which you had the conversation with at the bar. And they bring out some food and some wine, and the Navy crew of the ship are mostly kind of looking at their drinks and not having a whole lot to say, including Bull, which is a surprise to you because he was kind of chatty.
We're kind
Clearly,
of the same.
they didn't see
I'm
what they
not.
wanted to see over there.
I'm going to sit in between the non-Navy background members of the crew who are present, so that if they need the benefit of my savoir-faire naval, I can whisper to them or kick them under the table or whatever.
So, as you guys eat, and they start discussing what happened, and reveal that when they boarded the Rumjack, they found the crew pretty much all there as far as I could tell, but they were all sort of in the fetal position with some weird horror look on their face, and they were very, very deceased.
Huh.
All of them?
Every last one.
We
Even the
heard some,
rats. Even the rats were dead.
we heard some gunshots.
A few of our men sort of went off as they boarded before realizing it was kind of pointless.
I guess that ghost ship did a right number on them.
Ghost ship.
I look at the lieutenant who told us about the ship, and I
Yeah,
say,
so luckily
I say
yeah,
we saw it.
yeah,
Well,
luckily I brought my sketchbook with me, and as you notice on the skills, I did sort of sketch out the boat, the ship.
Bull sees that. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. It had the long commissioning pennant on it like that before. I think that is the same one we saw."
It's quite strange, actually.
Were it not that I saw it with my own eyes, I would have taken it for a tall tale. But I saw the ship, and she just rammed into the Rumjack, and then the rumjack went still.
Said.
Rammed her without a sound.
So, yeah, Captain says it's the most dreadful thing he's ever witnessed. And he's had some difficulty getting volunteers for a prize crew, but they'll have that sorted out. And they've never heard of such a thing ever happening before. And he's not entirely sure how he would report that to the Admiralty.
Perhaps maybe you just found the ship abandoned? It's not entirely inaccurate.
I think you should report it as you see it.
Well,
Found it adrift,
No.
boarded it, everyone was dead.
we were here to capture pirates, and so they did. And Lockhart looks directly at Hayden and sort of has that look in his eye. Like, they did fire on you, right?
Absolutely.
Well, she had her gun ports open.
And they
It's quite
fired at you,
possible.
right?
Yep, we heard gunshots.
She
We
fired,
heard a
sir.
cannon. We heard a cannon.
One moment, while I check.
Yeah.
Nobody has honesty.
Nope. I have Code of Honor, gentlemen's, which this does not contradict.
In fact, I might support it.
Indeed.
I have Code of Honor soldiers.
It's approximately the same.
What are the implications if Hayden says no?
You're going to have a duel
Well-
with Captain Lockhart.
There's the potential that they don't get it as a prize because it wasn't taken in action.
It would just be taken by the Admiralty and the crew would be cut out of the profits.
Then, without lying, could Hayden say, we were engaged? She was engaging.
Yeah, if he asks,
If,
did she fire on you, and you answered, she did engage us, that's enough.
Yeah,
of an
if that makes him
affirmative, I
feel
would think.
better about it, then I think that's probably stretching the truth just enough. Because the ports were open when she passed by. She clearly was about to.
She was moving to engage. That's being engaged.
And there was a cannon fire. It was the warning shot from the Pelican, but
There was fog. It was
That
in
was
the
later.
distance. I thought that was the rumjack.
It was a little
So-
confusing.
Without blatantly lying, Hayden will say, we were engaged.
Very well. He'll address his lieutenant and have him note that in the logs. And after that, he will say, well, I suppose then, John, our business has concluded. Successfully, in fact.
You say that you are looking for a prize crew. We come across a ship in distress. She sank, and I'll mention roughly where and how long ago. We have
Okay, now, you know when, or let me rephrase that. Hayden will know that in order to claim a prize, what will happen is they're going to take it back to the Admiralty, and the Admiralty will give them a cut of whatever they get out of it. So, they're not going to go to the nearest port and sell it.
right, but they need a crew, right? He said they need a crew for the prize ship.
Well, that's pretty standard to send part of your crew over there to pilot the ship back.
Well, Hayden will mention that we have on board some French guys that could help crew that ship if needed, and he'll explain the situation. How we come across the ship, took them on board. They have a whole bunch of people on the Princess Mary, and we've got some. They're welcome to take them and use them to help crew the ship. Otherwise, if they're not interested, then we will take them on to Guadalupe.
Yeah, I was just debating. You're not at war currently, and if they're not undermanned, it's entirely possible they wouldn't bother actually impressing those sailors. Whereas if either of those things were true, it would, they might.
So I'll leave it up to Lockhart.
He will decline. Says he doesn't need them. He'll get some volunteers, one way or the other. He's looking at his lieutenants like, we'll get some volunteers.
they're about to cast lots.
if it comes to that.
To the PCs, do we want to see if we can go on board and have a look around?
I would like to, if that's possible. It'd be
I'll
nice
pass.
to possibly see if there's any clues to why they were chasing us.
Yeah, there may be some value in going, but Rogers is not interested. I'll pass.
What about the rest? So we got one for going.
Does Lockhart have an actual surgeon, or is it just a half-assed medic?
That sounds like a job for Universe Reaction Roll.
Indeed.
Which isn't very helpful.
He has a doctor. Maybe he's not the biggest PhD there is, but he's got some training.
Well, he shouldn't be a PhD. He should be an MD.
Or whatever.
No.
Well, with neutral, you'd expect him to have what you would expect a ship of that class and size and function to have.
Yeah. In which
Oh,
case,
no,
he's
good or better.
a Navy.
They would have a
He's a
better
Navy
version
doctor.
of it.
Yeah, and doctoring was more informal. It was a student of the physical sciences, a physician.
Having an actual surgeon aboard is a bit more unusual.
Well, I think from a purely medical standpoint, Spencer's interested in at least examining some of the bodies.
Ah, okay.
Henry, do you mind if we take a few people on board the Rumjack? We'd like to investigate the ship and see if we can find out why she was chasing us.
I don't know why in God's name you'd want to go over there, but
I'd like to investigate or examine several of the bodies for medical science.
Well, she's been chasing us since Kingston. And
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I'd really like to know why. Perhaps there's some clues on board.
Well, I suppose if you need an escort, we have to get a prize crew ready to take her back anyway, so you can butt over with them. Lieutenant, you'll see to it. God. Yes, sir.
Captain Lockhart, with your permission, I will stay and continue to enjoy your excellent hospitality.
The more sensible one.
Aye.
All right.
It's
So
corpses.
you guys take a bit of time to go over to the Rumjack and inspect the damage, as it were. Who all is going?
Hayden will.
Spencer, obviously.
Pain.
Sure, why not?
So everybody but Rogers.
Yep.
I guess in that case, you guys will drop back by the Pelican to pick him up on your way back.
I hope so.
Ideally.
Nah, we're going to leave him behind. And then go, we seem to be missing somebody, while he's like, this is some awesome wine.
Back
there,
in the
Captain
Navy.
Lockhart.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah, it could
Exactly.
be literally. In
And then you're
times
like,
of war.
shit, I'm a lieutenant again.
Well, hell.
The Rumjack is, as mentioned before, it is a cutter. It's not very big, about 70 tons. And
Bigger than us.
yeah, it's a little bit bigger than you. By about half.
We're like 47 tons.
By about half. Yeah.
Smaller than a scout ship.
It had 10 guns. It had 6 8-pounders and 4 4-pounders. It had a crew of around 25 or so at the time. It had more before, but a lot of them were killed
We don't know anything about that.
back on Ile of Vache.
I don't know anything about that.
And so this particular crew was a mix, as you had determined previously, a mix of those two crews. The other crew, which Dora indicated had captured her, you have no idea who they were. And looking at the dead people here, you can't tell who they were any better. But their faces are just ghastly.
Rictus of horror.
Kind of the Ring kind of thing here. If anybody's seen that. And those of you that went over are going to have to make a fright check.
I don't want to make the fright check. I'm accustomed to corpses.
Yeah, this isn't right though. I'm gonna call that. I'll call it a -2. I'll give you credit for preparation in this case.
What is the bonus for combat reflexes? Is it 2 or 3?
2. Well, you were ready for it.
Hayden's primary interest is going to be the logs, so that'll be the first thing he goes to. He looks for the captain's logs, and then he'll investigate charts and stuff.
Gravy.
Man.
That's
Yeah,
like the
Payne
third lunch he
Payne
wants,
goes over that. Payne goes over that rail and sees that first guy staring back at him with the mouth wide open and the blank eyes, and just like, nope.
Suckers.
Yeah, you don't know what happened to him, but God, it must have been harsh. Medically speaking, though, just looking at it, aside from the twisted nature of everything you
5-5.
see there, you can't tell what they died of. Maybe just fright.
Apoplexy.
Perfect.
I mean, without doing a full autopsy or something. There's no blood. There's no sign of trauma. Recent trauma, anyway. Let's see. What are the chances these guys actually kept a decent log?
Probably depends on the captain's background.
I think I'll do a universe on that too. We'll make Hayden do it, since he was the one looking. Okay, apparently these guys were complete slobs and didn't keep a log worth a damn.
They have an actual log, like wood.
Well, no, you got that too, but that's for a different purpose. Wait, were they writing
Exactly.
on that?
That's the only log they have.
Captain said we need a ship's log. Someone took that literally.
You do see entries up to Ilavash, and they're fairly detailed as far as the operations of the ship goes, but they don't reveal any sort of intelligence beyond that.
Nothing
It's
about
actually quite
Dora.
It's actually quite
Explorer.
sterile in that regard. But it does record that they left Kingston, and records nothing after that.
I'm going to search the captain's quarters for possible hidden containers and such. I mean, I'll even allow a soldier or whoever. I'm not trying to loot the place. I'm just looking to see if there's anything like
Right.
treasury type things or hints or clues to a treasure hunt.
You can do a search.
I will.
See if there's a loose board somewhere with a pocket behind it. Holy God.
Wow.
Man! Almost tempted to use luck just to see if I can get a crit.
I don't know if you can do much better than that.
That would be a waste of your luck.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't find anything relating to intelligence as far as you can tell, but you're gonna find some kind of stash. So a little bit of cash, a little bit of snuff or something.
Who's all nearby? Spencer, he's not paying attention.
There's a soldier looking over your shoulder that was escorting you through there. He's looking at it like, I don't know. Do I see something or don't I?
Let's see. What would that be? Merchant to figure out about what his cut should be, and not
You
insult
figure
him.
you hold up a coin or a couple of coins or something. It's like, no, apparently I don't see anything.
So I'll definitely share some with that soldier.
I'll get with you later about what you got.
Okay, that's fine.
It'll be a little bit. It's nothing significant.
That's fine. I had nothing anyway. I had like 2 reals that I have
Yeah, that's
recorded.
it. You found 8 reals.
Oh my gosh. Right. So I'll share with whatever, and we'll figure it out.
All right. Well, you guys gonna do anything else with it? It is still night, by the way, so you're doing all this in the dark by lantern light and whatnot. And the prize crew is about gathering up the bodies and piling them up somewhere so they can probably throw them overboard. and getting the thing ready to sail again.
Was there anything in the charts at all? Any markings on their maps?
Well, I tell you what, if you...
What about their navigation log, where they note down course, direction, time, and stuff like that?
Well, like I said, they didn't keep very good track. After the fact, anyway. Up to a certain point, and you presume that was the Lavash, where the previous captain was killed by a shot to the forehead. Up to that point, the records were nice and clean and very tidy and almost OCD. And then after that, they didn't do a damn thing.
Yeah, but they still would have kept a navigation log because they need to know when, what time they need to change tack and all that sort of stuff.
They could have just been winging it,
I suppose.
Testing something. Don't freak out.
Ah!
Oh,
At any rate, I can't think of anything right off the top of my head that you might find in there useful. I will let you know later in the week if I can think of something that you might have found.
Succeed by 8 on my observation, if that makes a difference for anything later on.
Observation?
Yes.
Did you roll that?
Yep.
Yeah, observation wouldn't help for that. But I can potentially use that roll for something else.
Well, observation is the skill used to find clues and stuff.
No, that's not what that is. But don't worry about it. I'll consider that roll to be in effect for whatever it is that you find. If there's something to be found, you will have found it probably.
Okay.
Later. All right. And
nosy.
Anything else?
Dr. Spencer is now nosy.
Well, I gained a new mental quirk, and I looked at it. It's like he's constantly curious, so
Wasn't already
that's not going
curious,
to come back and bite him in the ass down the road at all, is it?
It's good for a scientist to be curious.
All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, that's
No,
that's
not
pretty
at the
much all you
moment.
see. I will go ahead and make a note of the fact that they do have guns.
I don't care. My gun's
So,
empty.
right?
I don't mean pistols. I mean guns, like cannon.
Well, we don't really have any right to take those.
Davino boarded over there. First thing he's looking at is 8-pounders and 4-pounders, and trying to think. Could I get that on there?
By rights, none of that belongs to. We can't take that, can we? A prize
That's
usually
part of the prize.
includes everything on the ship.
Well, yeah, generally, but
I mean,
So we would have to.
if you really wanted them, you could probably try to talk him out of them.
Yeah, you'd have to talk to Lockhart about it, but they're his right now, technically.
I mean, do the guns really add that much value to the ship? I mean, really?
Well, that depends. On the one hand, you could be far more powerful. On the other hand, being far more powerful can make you do stupid things.
Also
I see no
requires
problem
more
with this.
crew to operate.
They would require more crew to operate. But hey. Alright, so with that, you guys will return to the Graceful Dame. It is well into the first watch. Probably getting on to 10 or 11 in the evening. And you guys can get back underway.
Well, if it's night, we probably should just stay here until the sun comes up so we don't do anything dumb. Since that is a fairly narrow pass area, right?
It's not that narrow. It's not like you're going to run into anything.
Well, never mind then.
Just from a navigational perspective, it's a bit of a needle. Up to you.
Alright, well, we'll make way. We'll go pick up our man.
I appreciate that.
Didn't think we'd forget you, did you?
Of course not. I'm unforgettable.
All right then.
Bid farewell to Lockhart and wish him well.
And he will wish you the same. And
Congratulations on the prize.
Okay, that's going to be about that. Okay, calculating. Where'd I put my map? All right.
Over there.
Let's see. You were going to be there.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I was going to, if we were talking with him before we left, if the impulsive check failed, it was going to be, so about those guns.
Well, if you want some, we can trade for it.
So about those guns.
I don't know if you have anything to trade for that.
Our current guns.
Yeah, your current guns are
I-
smaller.
I mean, yeah, but, I mean, it'll help replace some of the value, and then, I don't know, we have IOU, but I think we have some money stashed somewhere. You're not touching my gun.
Who's our purser?
I think I've fallen into that job.
For now, yeah. I think Spencer.
Do we have enough to trade?
I have no idea how much those guns are worth.
Yeah.
Neither does the GM, apparently.
I know where to look to find out, but that takes time. I wasn't thinking about actually purchasing.
Where is that? No, wait, never mind. I was about to say high tech, but no, that's not right. You're using real world monies.
I would suggest that we put the offer to the captain, and if we have the money to potentially trade, and then work that out in the forums over the week to see if that trade actually took place.
Well, if you want to attempt to negotiate with the captain for some guns to either replace the ones you have or supplement them, your choice, then you can go ahead and negotiate for that, and then we can decide if there's actual monetary requirement afterward.
All right, so let's
Was that
negotiate.
merchant?
Let's see.
Well, it'd be a reaction
thinking
roll,
that would
and you'd
be-
get plus 1 or plus 2 to reaction for having merchant at a certain level.
I'm thinking the way that would probably work is that is correct, and you could probably use savoir-faire military for that.
I don't have
Because
that.
this is kind of a rules thing, whether or not they can give that up.
So it sounds more like, in this case, it would be probably more like Hayden doing the actual talking back and forth while consulting maybe Spencer as, okay, well, do we have this much? How much can we pay for it if appropriate?
All right, so I'll roll a reaction. Does my courtesy rank give me a bonus in this case?
No, I'd say you have some bonus already, just based on your previous interactions.
Well, there'd be a penalty because this guy doesn't like Hayden.
Well,
Right,
he probably
but
likes
you-
him a little bit better now.
You just gave him a bunch of money.
Born War Leader gives you a plus. In this case, it'd be a plus 4 for reaction rolls.
Holy cow.
That, I guess that would actually apply.
That would definitely apply because he would know.
And you sure courtesy rank would? Actually, this guy doesn't like Hayden, so he probably loathes the fact.
Courtesy rank is not normally good for any bonuses, as far as I know.
Usually, it's a reaction roll. Courtesy rank gives you a reaction roll in a situation where it's.
That's
Thinged.
not how that works.
I thought that's what it was. But anyway, so at least plus 4.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
That's probably going to be the only one that comes into effect. Yep.
Well,
So I guess he's
Stands
open to it.
reason you did just like Daniel said, you did just give him a bunch of money.
So he's open to overlooking some rules and letting us put in an offer to buy some guns if it so happens that we have enough money to do that.
Okay. Well, basically what happens there is you go to him as you're picking up Rogers and say, "You don't need all of those guns on that thing, do you?" He's like, "What? There are only 4."
Exactly.
So he'll let you walk off with a few if you want to. It'll take some time to move them though.
Without payment.
Yeah, basically you paid him with a ship. He's taking a few bucks less.
Okay.
Those ships ain't cheap.
The guns aren't that expensive.
Mr. Palange, can you make arrangements to get those guns stowed on board the Dame, please?
That's
come with
totally
me,
gonna
we get them
get
over.
us into trouble, isn't it?
So, I'm
Nah.
gonna say probably the easiest thing for you to pull off there is to grab the four pounders. So you're basically doubling your existing firepower if you dump the 2s, or if you keep them
We probably keep them to sell.
3
or-
times. Because you have
Or-
ports for 8.
Easiest, but the 8s.
The 8s might be pushing it. That ship is really small.
Alright, so we take the 4-pounders.
That's fantastic.
Are we able to put the 2s up front as chase guns?
You'd have to do some modifications to make that work, but it's probably possible.
Something for the carpenters to work out?
Yeah. If
What
you
carpenter?
had one.
Yeah, we're currently using seamanship for carpentry right now.
Okay, so that is going to take you a couple more hours to get those loaded.
Yeah, so we probably won't set sail until the sun comes up in the morning, because everybody's gonna be really tired from doing that crap.
It is kind of sounding that way.
Which probably makes the potential prize crew happy as well, because they don't want to be on that boat while it's dark. Plus, we've just successfully brought a couple haunted guns on our ship. Awesome.
Ooh, neat.
Dan
Yes,
is
there
like,
could be.
wait a minute, let me make a note.
There could be ectoplasm.
If the guns glow in the dark, we're pushing them overboard. We don't need them that bad.
More dark.
Okay, I think that is probably going to work for that. So I'm putting you guys down for about 4 hours of delay overall, including the rescue stuff. So you guys basically end up taking off at first light instead. Before you guys do that, and about the time you guys are talking about going over to the brain, when you guys are about to head over to the rum jack, and the captain, the captain of the Princess Mary will ask you, I guess we're done here, aren't we?
Well, we
You
can
guys still
continue
wanna-
to escort them.
You guys still want a convoy, or are you guys good to go, since the one that was chasing you is apparently no longer a factor?
Aren't we still going their way, destination-wise?
Well, yeah, but they could move on.
There could be other unknown dangers.
Well,
Yeah, there's no reason not to convoy.
Yeah, it's entirely up to him, probably.
Dangers untold and hardships unnumbered.
And if they want to head out, we can let them. We're only going to be delayed, 4 hours, so...
Basically, he's asking if you want them to hang around or not.
There's no need, we can catch up. They're not going to get too far in 4 hours. We'll be able to keep a distance.
Well, no, if they're leaving without you, they're actually faster than you.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's up to him then. If he wants an escort, then we'll stay, I would think.
He was helping you guys out, and it looks like you guys don't need the help anymore.
Well, it's up to him. If he wants to escort and continue for his own personal safety and stuff, then we're good with that. If he wants to go, we're also good with that.
All right. Well, since you guys then are planning on going over to the Rumjack and poking about, and he doesn't know how long you guys are going to be, he says, "Well, we've got a schedule, so I think we're going to move on." So he'll offer his hand and say,
Toodles.
"Good luck."
Is this conversation happening aboard the Navy ship where we're all
That
together?
was happening aboard the Navy ship, yeah, while you were together.
All right.
So, yeah, and they'll take off before you guys go investigate the Rumjack, so they're already on their way. He will say at that point, well, why don't we go ahead and take those last few Frenchmen off your hands, and we can actually put them over at Basse-Terre and Guadeloupe.
I was hoping we'd have to go ashore with them so we could observe their was it Bruno and the captain do a duel.
They're all kind of wide-eyed and not bothering each other right now because there was this whole ghost ship thing that just happened.
Well, still, I'm gonna warn
It'll wear off
the
eventually.
captain. I'm gonna warn the captain about the antipathy between the two. They've promised to have a duel, so you might want to make sure that they don't try to get a jump on that later.
All right, so but they'll take them off your hands, so you don't have to worry about making the extra trip over to Guadeloupe on the way.
Nice.
So that means in the morning you guys can head straight out for St. Kitts.
And we will.
Ahead, flank speed. Second star morning.
And if you're actually waiting for sunup,
Well, I just
I
think
need
that
to
makes sense because
adjust.
it's going to take a while and effort to get the guns on the boat, and then everybody's going to be really freaking tired and want to recover from that.
Trying to think of how to make this work. Is that right?
No, not like that. Maybe like that.
Stop it.
Not like that, though.
You're not helping.
How long have you known me? When have I tried to help?
Okay. Let's see. So you ended that around that time, which is about 8 p.m. That means you had that long, about 3 watches difference.
Yeah, our first opportunity, I probably want to try to borrow Davino's book again and flick through it for references about fighting ghosts, just in case.
Let's see, that's
Need to
No,
stock
that's-
up on a bunch of salt.
okay. I think I got it. So I need to do that, and then that. Okay, I think that's sorted. Okay, so the end result here is going to be you wait till the morning and then take off. You've now got extra guns, which means extra weight, and it's going to take.
Did we take on any shot for those guns as well?
Presumably,
Asking
At least a
Davino
bit.
because he would have been in charge of that.
he's going to want to take some extra powder for that as well.
That's probably why
Yeah,
the
they-
ship's leaning a little to the left.
They probably have pre-measured powder bags that he
They
might
do.
have wanted.
I mean, if we're getting cannons, it makes sense that we would get the powder too.
Like all the
Yep.
powder.
How much were we able to take? Like number of rounds?
Oh, well, it depends on what you actually made off with. If you only took the 4-pounders, you could take all the 4-pound ammunition.
That sounds like Davino's style.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so the end result here is you've got about 8 hours. Yeah, let's make it 6. A bit more even. So you got most of the day, the next day, on the way to St. Kitts, and then a couple of hours after midnight is when you're going to arrive. Making sure I didn't screw anything up here. So the day goes by without too much trouble. You have offloaded your extra passengers, so they're not a thing. You don't have to stop at Guadeloupe. most of the day is clear. The rain basically stopped overnight. And nothing much happens. There was an incident during the day. Damn it, just remembered a thing. There was an incident during the day where the main hatch over the hold cracked. Probably Divino moving the guns around. But it wasn't a big deal. You just fixed it right away, and that was that. So if you refer to the map, you got Guadalupe there. You pass by Montserrat there about midday, and then by late evening you can see St. Kitts in the distance. It is very tall. And apparently Nevis, the island there to the south of it, is always ringed with a cloud.
That's interesting.
This map is really big. It may take a minute to load. So, as I said, you guys are going to arrive at the island sometime after midnight. So, up to this point, it has been your SOP to drop anchor and wait for daylight to enter the port. Will that be the case here as well?
Yes.
Ooh, cool map.
The battle is not going on right now. That won't be happening for another 50 years.
That is a really cool map.
But St. Kitts and Nevis are actually a fairly impressive place as Caribbean islands go. And the capital of Basse-Terre is there before you. And in the morning you can enter the port.
The port was on fire.
Hooray.
It wasn't my fault. They have Arsehole and Shitten Bay.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, there are place names like that.
That is so awesome.
Because you know
we need to go to Shitten Bay.
They have Mosquito Bay too.
Arsehole of Shitten Bay.
You guys did, as you were passing Guadalupe, you did see the Princess Mary leaving the port over there, having dropped off the other crew, and they will have given you a gun salute.
Oh, cool! So we may be able to get on there just in time to see that duel.
If it's my watch, I
It's very
return the
far
gun.
away. And I think it's kind of a shitty cliffhanger, but I'm gonna leave it at as you enter the port.
Oh, actually, Divino is on my watch too, so I'll have Divino return the gun with one of his new babies.
I
Fire
realize I keep
sinks the
forgetting
ship.
to put this up. So you pull up anchor and set sail to enter into the St. Kitts port, and with that we will cut to black, cue the music, roll credits.
Good fun.
Next time.
You didn't tell me what how Dora reacted when I told her about the ghost ship eating the other crew.
I thought he said she slept through it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell her
Did
about
you?
that.
I must have missed that.
I hope I didn't just ask the question in my head and didn't actually verbalize
No, I heard
it.
you. I heard you.
You did? I remember you asking about her reaction before.
Well, definitely
There
gonna
was a
have
point in
let
there.
her know that the ghost ship ate the crew of the people chasing.
Right.
Well, because
yeah,
when
she
we
would've,
beat the quarters, I thought that she jumped up, but you said that she was still asleep.
But ultimately, that's
Yeah,
not something. that,
my brain is not 100% today, so
right
I
there
hope
with
you'll
you, buddy.
forgive me for
Welcome to the club.
missing that. Yeah, I think Dora would have responded positively to the idea that that particular crew was gone, probably indicating her pleasure with a rude gesture in the general direction of the rumjack.
Wow.
Cool.
Daniel, can you try something for me, please?
If it's not illegal.
It's not illegal.
It
Could
might
you
be.
open up the Graceful Dame in the vehicles, unlock it, and then just grab a gun from the items and then drop it into the description field for the Graceful Dame?
I don't think that's going to work. Because I think
It
I tried
should
that on an
work.
NPC. Because it just drops the button in there. It doesn't actually do anything.
So, but it drops the button there, and if you click on the button, so reshare it. Cool. So we see it.
I guess that's useful still. Yeah.
So if we put the guns as links, and then people can then link that gun to their character sheet if they're actually going to be using it.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah, potentially.
I mean, which link are you talking about?
So if you go to the vehicles, open up the Graceful Dame, you should now see a link there for 47-ton catch.
Yeah, but when I click it, I get cutlass, melee weapon, short sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Daniel dropped in there. So in actual fact, when we have the guns in there, you could drop the proper 4-pound or 2-pound cannon.
Oh, okay.
And then you should be able to drag that into your combat tab on your character sheet for when you're actually firing the guns.
And apparently I can't get rid of it.
You should be able to just delete.
Yeah, I should, shouldn't I?
Oh, yeah. It did drag into my melee combat tab correctly.
But...
I normally find if you go backspace, so go to the end of it and then backspace it away.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, but then I have to delete the whole thing.
You should only have 47-ton catch in there.
Yeah, but then I have to retype it. Yeah, no, it's not working.
Do we not have modes in the items?
That
do modes only exist
that
on the
doesn't
sheet?
port over in this older version. That's supposed to be something that was added in the newer one.
Got it.
Well, anyway, before we get distracted here, what was the... Hold on. So, right, experience. We were doing 1 point. We were doing 1 point.
Yep.
1 point for everybody.
Did my new quirk cost that point, or
No.
is that
No.
separate?
Nope, that is totally additional.
All right, total of 4 at the moment then.
Stability, you guys mostly didn't fail that hard, so you won't have gained too many.
I had 1, and I can't figure out where I put them on my sheet. I don't see them in notes.
I think you guys are putting them in the currency.
Okay, well mine says 0. I got 1 tonight, and I think I got 1 with the priest.
Right,
so
but that one you would have gotten that back.
Okay, so I'm down by 1, and that's based on will, so I'm at 12 instead of 13. Is that correct?
Yes. However, you had a whole day of potentially doing nothing strenuous that you could have recovered that extra point in, so you don't have to bother recording it.
So I'm back at max.
I did actually go in and look at how you end up gaining permanent points, and I don't remember what that was. This week has not been one for allowing me to remember things like that. So for the time being, you guys are no more crazy than the additional traits you picked up as a result of the fear checks.
Cool.
And any other bookkeeping we need to do before we close out? I feel like I need to get you guys in a fight. You haven't been in a fight in a while.
Fighting hurts.
Well, it does, but it's good for you. Conflict builds character. Yeah, you guys should be probably moving on to Port-au-Paix next week. So finally getting to Spencer's story.
Whee!
Alright, well, if you're watching this and you have questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Wash your damn hands.
All that.
Goodbye, stream.
Good night, stream.